I want to thank you for joining us here on WTHR Plus. I'm Aliyah Brooks. The Indiana Fever are holding their media day with new head coach Stephanie White and stars like Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and of course, Caitlin Clark. Things are getting started right now, so let's get out and take a listen.
A lot of expectations for you guys this year. What do you think will be key in managing that for the first time of your career?
I think it's going to be keeping the main thing. For us, it's about winning, making sure that we continue to protect our locker room and don't let outside noise get in. And I think last year was a great start to that. And to be able to do it this year, I feel like we already know what's to come.
You didn't like your start of the season last year. What step did you take this offseason to get off to a stronger start this year?
I feel like one of the biggest things in that area was just getting to know and getting to play with Caitlin. I think Caitlin plays such a fast-paced game, and for me, I feel like the year before that, it wasn't as fast, and then coming in kind of having that same expectation of the way that we played the year before, and then coming in and Caitlin loves to play really fast, so I think that was definitely the adjustment. But, I think knowing that and having that mindset just helped in the offseason because I know exactly where I need to be.
Aliyah, do you remember, DeWanna had mentioned earlier that before she made her decision that she talked with you about, what to kind of expect in Indiana and your relationship with her maybe. So what do you remember from those conversations you had with her?
I was super excited to talk to DB, especially that first time, just talking about Indiana, and I just told her what a great number one fan base we have here, but also just the people and the players that we have here that make this so special. I talked about exactly how we played and how far we made it, and now especially thinking about the addition of having her would just take it to another level, especially just because she's so experienced at winning, and I feel like that's exactly what we need, especially in this league.
Was there a way that she also poured into you in those conversations?
She did. She told me that my play is going to be super important for us and our success. And so for me, I think being able to learn from her, but also have a vet that'll push me to the level that she knows I can get to is really special for me.
Is there anything different about how you approach relationship building from your time at South Carolina or last year to this year? And if not, just can you explain your approach to how you build relationships?
Yeah, I feel like it's always been the same. For me, it's about being who I am, not changing who I am. And I think people are able to just, I attract just that great energy, I think, and not bragging on myself. But I feel like just because the way that I approach everyone, I always want to make sure everyone's smiling. And I feel like when that's your approach, make sure that everyone's good. It's so easy to build that relationship because you just get comfortable with each other really quickly.
Do you think that the way you guys were selling out every single game last year, it was a surprise to you at first, but that became the normal thing? Was a good selling point for the free agents to come in?
I think so. Who doesn't want to play sold out crowds at home? And when you're away, you have just a bunch of people that are wearing Fever jerseys. I think that's so important because you know that you always have a family and coming from the fans because they're always going to cheer you on.
Aliyah, did you know that this is 25 years ago was the first Fever team? Did you know that?
Of course I did. Fever.
Can you name one player on that team?
I feel like I should just leave that for them, really. I think it's just about...
Did you know that Stephanie was on that
Yes, of course. But I didn't want to... Because now she's going to say I'm trying to age her. I'm like, girl, I'm trying to age her.
All right, last guess for you. How many points do you think she averaged a game that year?
Steph? Like 25. 15. Seven. That's fine. Exactly. I should have known.
Aliyah, what has it been like getting onto the practice court and mixing up with DeWanna and Natasha and the veteran post players? What do they bring to the court now that you've had a chance to get on there and play with them?
Yeah, it's been great. They bring a lot of energy. I think there's no better feeling than that. Even looking at Tosh pick up full court and she's making defenders turn, like that's super impressive and it's special because it allows me to see once again what it takes to be on those winning teams and the type of energy that you have to come with every single day.
Was that maybe change for training camp this year in these first two practices, just having that experience in the room?
Definitely. I feel like experience is always going to be able to go a long way, and for us, I still think we're relatively young. Like I'm going into my third year, Caitlin in her second, Lexi in her fourth. It's like you still have so many ways to grow, and being able to come in on day one and see the type of energy, see the type of environment that we're in has been amazing.
Do you like the idea of going to college campuses for preseason games, and what does that do? Is that something they should be going forward?
I think it's pretty cool. I really do. I think it's a great way to once again bridge that gap between college and the WNBA. And you're also able to see for some of the fans that can't get out to the Fever games or can't get out to different WNBA games, when you're able to bring that back there, it feels like, whoa, I got to see her play in college and now I get to see her play professionally, and there's no better feeling than that. So I think it's a great idea.
What was Steph's message just in her first team meeting?
Unity. I think that was the biggest thing. We talked about it earlier, even in this, is the outside noise. And so for her, it's about sticking together, making sure that we are a tight unit, that nothing can poke holes in between what we have going, because that's one way to go down, and we don't want to go down.
I think that's been a theme. A lot of players, like Sophie, was like, yeah, everybody's here for the right reasons
Yes.
and those sort of things. How have you seen that kind of manifest in the first week just so far?
I mean, just by how we operate with each other off the court, how we are on the court, I think being able to be selfless is another thing that we talked about in the team meetings, like giving up a good shot for a great shot. And I think that's just super important because when you get in games, you know, you never know when your number is going to be called to hit that big shot, and being able to trust each other to be able to do it is going to be important for us.
As you mentioned, this is your third season in the WNBA. How is the league different than like what you expected as a rookie? Like what surprised you?
I feel like when I came in as a rookie, I didn't really have any expectations. For me, I mean, it's super easy to listen to what other people are saying and kind of use that as your own opinion, but I kind of wanted to just come in and learn and see what it's all about. And honestly, I love it. I mean, I love that we charter now, even though I was a big mileage girl. I talked about that my first time. And so, I mean, I think it's grown so much. So many eyes have really came upon the league from my rookie season to now my third year, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Aliyah, I saw that the team made a promotional film at Madam Walker Theater on Indiana Avenue. What's that mean in terms of significance with the Fever aligning with that historic site?
Yeah, I think it's special. Not only like you think of everyone that support the Fever, but being able to tie in that to a historic site like that, I think is super special. And it just once again shows the bond that between sports and women's sports and the whole city of Indiana is really capable of.
Have you given much thought to what you want to see more growth from the league, and in what ways? Obviously, charter was the big deal last year, and you're going into the final year of this collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, I feel like the easy answer out of that is definitely just being able to get paid more. But honestly, I think everything is a stepping stone, and I think we're going in the right direction for this league. And so I'm just gonna be ready to be a part of it. Every change that comes, I'll be ready and I'll be excited for it. But yeah.
Got time for about two more. Aliyah, now that you've had a year playing with each other, where do you see the biggest difference in Caitlin, like at this time this year compared to maybe last year?
I feel like everyone talks about it. I'll see it on social media. They'll be like, Caitlin has so strong muscles, and don't tell her I said that. don't even mention that. Yeah. But I think her strength, I mean, she gets in the paint and she's able to bully her way in and finish strong at the basket. I mean, everyone talks about, once again, her three-point shooting, and we've all seen her passing, but I think her ability to get downhill and really just stay on balance and score the ball, I think is going to be great this year too.
How would you explain the shift in the organization's culture from when you first arrived here to now?
Yeah, there's definitely been a shift, but I feel like they've always supported women's basketball, and they've always just wanted us to make sure that we feel that same love as every other WNBA team, but also as the Pacers, right? Because they're right around the corner, and so I think they just did a fantastic job of making us feel like we're important as well, because we are. Period.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't get not one question from y'all over here. It's fine. It's fine.
I got you with the trivia.
You did.
Yeah, go ahead.
How are you?
Hello.
Hi. Steph's got me out of place. How's everybody?
Good.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Hi.
I guess to that point, how does this kind of compare to what you are used to?
Oh man. Yeah, totally different atmosphere. The support here has been just phenomenal. I really can't go anywhere. I've been here like a week and a half, and everywhere I go, it's just like, we're excited for the season. You know, thank you for being here. So it's been really, really refreshing. And
You get that on the streets?
I'm sorry?
You get that on the streets?
Yeah, everywhere I go, it's just, can't even go to the grocery store without someone saying how excited they are. So it's just been really refreshing. I'm excited to be here.
By that being said, how much that excites you for the upcoming season, knowing that you got a fan base here that loves basketball, loves this team?
Yeah, I don't know if I even like really realized yet because I haven't like played in front of it. So I'm excited to get a little bit of a taste on Saturday, but I can only imagine how the first game is going to be. You know, playing here as an opponent, it's hard to play here. They get loud, they get crazy. Last year in Connecticut, we just kept saying, we know we can't take this thing back to Indiana. We got to finish it at home because it was going to be insane. So I'm excited to be a part of it and them cheering for me for once instead of against me.
Where was the most random place you've been stopped?
I don't really get out too much. I haven't yet, but you can literally be just walking down the street, you know, anywhere, and it's just. I was in Kroger the other day, just picking up some fruit, and they're like, "Oh man, you know, like super excited for the season." Just been really refreshing to be here and seeing how the welcome has been. You know, you never know how it's going to go when you come into a new team, a new organization, but it's just been phenomenal since I've been here.
That happened to you a lot when you were past stops or in college at all? People recognize you out in public?
Not as much as here. That's for sure. The eyes are on you here. The lights are bright, but I think we got the Fever organization do a good job of taking care of me, and since I've been here, me and my family and my teammates has been great. Aliyah, Caitlin, and Kelsey has been great, kind of showing everybody the ropes because they did play in this atmosphere last year. So just having someone who's done it, it's been pretty helpful.
What has been the balance been like? How much you guys want to run offensively, but also realizing, hey, we got to reset and assert ourselves defensively and make that a priority?
Oh, we know we have to do that. I said we were last year in defense 11th, I think Steph said. So that's kind of been our emphasis. That's what we start practice with, is defense, and we kind of just keep it there. So everybody's been putting an effort towards it. You know, you can't win without playing defense. Yeah, we have all the firepower on offense, but I think it's been a focal point, and yeah, we're serious about it.
DB, when you think back to free agency, I know you mentioned you talked with a few players maybe before making your decision. Do you remember who you talked to and like what sorts of conversations you had?
Yeah, I talked to AB, CC, and Kelsey, just kind of understanding Indiana. It's different, especially last year, than what the past Fever season has been, and just with the fan base and how the organization run. And I'm a 15-year vet, so I kind of like things a certain way, and I just wanted to make sure it was a fit for me, and just mixing like young and a little bit of old energy in and how it would flow. So just talking to those three and understanding what they wanted and their goals, because I came here to win, and that's what we did in Connecticut, so I kind of wanted to continue that, and that's what they wanted. So yeah, that's how I ended up here.
Was there something any of them said that really stuck out to you? It gave you, a little bit of relief, or just like, yeah, like this, I think will work out for me.
They want to win. That's all I needed. That's all I need to hear. They want to win. They wanted to be led. They didn't have any experience last year in playoffs. It's totally different. So just taking the mindset on from the beginning, I feel like that's been our mindset in training camp, and they've just been really receptive to me being the leader, but also I've been following them a little bit too, because like I said, no one understands playing in this type of environment but the people who've done it, and just listening to them has been really refreshing.
DeWanna, how important is it for a team to embrace expectation? If you want to reach that top of the mountain, you got to really kind of embrace it, don't you?
I don't even know if we have expectations. There's so many new faces. We got like 7 new players. Front office is new. The coach is new. So we just all trying to figure it out day by day, and just trying to figure out what our strengths are and how we can play with each other. I don't know if I, in 15 years, have been on a team where we had this much firepower throughout the whole roster. And even our rookies in camp it's been competitive and great. So just trying to figure out how we all can fit and how we can all make these rotations work. Giving each other a lot of grace, because we have people that coming in that, like myself, haven't played since, losing last year in the playoffs. So just all trying to figure it out. And I think that's the most exciting part, because we have so many firepower. We can just go any way, any given night, and just be unpredictable. So just making sure everybody locked in on the goal and understand what we want to do, and just taking it day by day.
Is the only way you can get that chemistry is go out there and play games? You can't just fake it.
Oh yeah, you got to go out there and play games, but also off the court. But I think we've been doing a good job in our locker room, getting to know one another. Like, kind of privately. Like I said, there's always a lot of eyes on Indiana, so just taking the time when we can to get to know each other and have that chemistry off the court, because if you don't have it in your locker room, there's no need to even stepping on the court, because it just won't work. So
getting all of that firepower in a room can sometimes be a recipe for disaster, but you guys are really embracing it.
Yeah.
How do you, put the ego aside and embrace it so that you guys can have this really successful on-court product?
I think we have a great group of I want to say girls, but they're ladies. A great group of ladies who understand that, and they just simply want to win and take this franchise to a different level than what they were last year in the playoffs. And it has been really easy, surprisingly. Of course, we haven't competed yet in the heat of the battle, but I think just laying the foundation from training camp, we want to do this for each other, that we know we're going to have to take some sacrifices. We know we're going to have to change some things about our game. We've seen it. We've seen the teams who won, and they had to do the same. So I think we're just all ready to adjust, and it's all fun when you're winning, so that's what we have to do.
You mentioned the newness. Because there's so much of it, do you almost feel like it's an advantage, it's a blank slate, or a challenge, and you guys have a lot to learn and figure out with each other?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I even thought about it like that. I won't say it's a challenge. I think it's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting because, like I said, there's just so many rotations and combinations you can play with, and You can play this person at point. You can play, you know, like Sophie can play 1 through 4. You got CC now can play off the ball. I can play the post, and Tasha can play the guard. So it's just a lot of, it's exciting. I'm glad I don't have to do it. I leave it to Steph, and I just, you know, the players just give her grace because this is new for her too. So we all just giving each other grace and trying to figure it out. But at the same time, you know, we have a goal. We want to win in a mindset, and we come in here every day and we work for it. A couple more.
How do you think about the idea of teams usually needing to go through battle scars and often coming up short of a championship before finally getting over the hump? And how do you square that idea with knowing that, like, you have a lot of vets and players on 1-year contracts and want to win right now?
Well, they got kicked out of playoffs pretty early, so I feel like that's a challenge within itself for those three. I came up short in the semifinals. I think that's a challenge for us. I think Tosh she didn't make playoffs. So I think everybody have their own different challenges and at different points of their career, and just trying to bring it together. What's the point of putting this roster together if you're not going to compete for a championship no matter what adversity you faced before? It's kind of like a new clean slate, and you got to have a chip on your shoulder.
What have you learned about Stephanie as a coach?
This is my second year, so I had Stephanie in Connecticut, and so it's kind of be an easy transition. But yeah, she's tough. She holds everyone accountable. I think she's doing a great job with this group and just putting us in great positions to be successful and getting everybody to buy in. So that was the first part. But yeah, Steph is tough. But she also is a player coach, and she understands like when you have to give someone grace or you have to give someone a pat on the back instead of yelling at them. So it's just been good, and I feel like this group has been refreshing. I always walk around like, and I ask Kelsey and I ask CC like, how you feel? Like, I want it to feel different for them. You know, I want them to enjoy the process. I don't want to feel like, you know, someone's coming in and taking over or anything like that. So I always try to check it out.
There's been a lot of talk this week about the on-the-court wisdom and veteran experience you're bringing. Is there any off-the-court stuff that you're also sharing with like the younger players?
Yeah, for sure. We have our own little group chat, and I just try to throw little nuggets in there and just try to change it. If we would say we're going to be one of these top organizations, we have to be about it. So I kind of hold them accountable on little things that needs to be done, that needs to be tightened up, and they have been very responsive to it. And yeah, and if they don't do it, I get it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's been pretty cool.
Thanks, Timmy. Thank you. Up Kelsey next.
Good morning.
I don't know.
Sorry, I just had a donut.
Kelsey,
You're good. Good.
I years ago reported from China. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about what your experience was there. How were you treated? What did you think of the environment? And what did your team do besides everything else?
China was an experience. Culturally, I was able to learn a lot. The food was very interesting. I was able to try a lot of different things that I didn't know. But overall, I think the basketball, which was the reason I was there, was very impactful. Very rough and rugged basketball. You kind of got to get out the mud there. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I grew a different respect for how they play basketball internationally. So it was a good experience overall, though.
It's not the same food as people think here.
No, not at all.
Plus, I know you have a huge appreciation for this game.
Yeah.
And this moment you're training right now in your career. How much are you looking forward to this opportunity to play with these ladies here and try to win a championship?
Oh man, that's a great question. I'm very excited. Anybody that know me, like I kind of just look at the basketball part for what it is. And I look at year 8 and where it started. And I don't know, I never thought I'd be here. I'll be honest about that. But I'm grateful for the experience, and I think like having this group and having us in the city of Indianapolis, I think like the best of both worlds is happening right now. So I'm gonna bask in it and just kind of enjoy the moment.
This is by far the highest expectations a team you've been on.
Yeah.
How do you manage that yourself, or how do you handle it going into the year?
I really never thought about it like that. I'm sorry, but I think for me, I've always been in tune to the basketball part, and so for me, that's easy. Anything that you said, I label our team as, whether it was good or bad, I've always dealt with it. I've kind of seen it all, but to know that there's a little bit more pressure to kind of like win, quote unquote, I think that'll take care of itself. So I'm not too worried about it.
You like that idea of having the pressure on you guys?
Kind of. It's kind of just like you fight or flight at that point. You can't turn away. And I think that, you know, individually I prepared, but I also trust my team. I think individually they prepared, and I think collectively
we prepared to be in this moment. And so we're going to do that and do our best at it.
How do you pair the experience you've had with this franchise in the years that you've been here with, the championship experience, the younger people, and just kind of this whole merge to, put out that on-court product?
I think it was always a part of the process. I think that, there wouldn't be Indianapolis without what happened in the past years. Obviously, I think Tamika Catching's done a great job of paving the way, along with like your Stephanie Whites and Larkin and all those guys. So for us to be here and me go through the trenches, kind of so to speak, with everything that Indy's been through, and to see it now, full. I'm grateful I was a part of the process. I've seen it in every era and every way, and so I could look back on it now and say it was worth it.
To be such a big part of that process, and then to know that Stephanie White is your coach, what has that been like, just kind of through the, settling into it?
Player to player, because she was once a player. It's dope to have a basketball mind that once done it. Not the other coaches have it, but I think that it's a different respect for it because she's actually literally been through it here at this franchise. And so it's a different appreciation for the winning that she's done in Connecticut. And so for her to come and take the time for me and Kaylin, AB and all our young ones, we appreciate it, and we our goal is not to let her down.
Kelsey, given all your circumstances and going to the barn and all those different, what was your reaction when you learned about this $78 million practice facility and something that potentially you'll be able to enjoy down the road?
They sent me a mock-up, and I was at home. I just got back from China, and I literally was baffled because you see it on the college universities got all this nice and glitz and glamour, but to know that people are taking time to actually pour into what is and what could be for time to come, I'm absolutely grateful. And then on a more personable player level, I'm so grateful because it's we don't have that season or those seasons to take off season. And so the facility that they're building, we have now somewhere to come and really stay and be a market in Indianapolis and keep getting better in the off season. So I'm grateful for the fact that they've taken time to pour into us for real.
What do you remember about your first year, the culture around the organization?
Oh man, the culture was always one of those things that Indiana basketball was always great regardless. But I do think the dynamic and the impact has been changed from year to year. It showed from where I started. I had the vets that are now coaching and stuff, and so now I look back on it and I'm on a different fold of it. I just thank God that I could be able to say that I was a part of it, and see from year 1 to year 8 how far I've come and how far this franchise come.
With the new coach and Steph, new front office, just how have you seen the culture change from last year?
Oh no, just even us going to the Pacers game yesterday, it's the aura is just different. We sit and watch games like we been family for years, kind of I sat there with C-Square, I sat there with Kaylin, and we just talk about basketball. And then I sit with Stephanie, we talk about basketball. And it's for some reason the love language that we all have for basketball just kind of made the culture easy to be around this time around.
Kelsey, Iowa fans were such a huge part of the fan base last year. What's the excitement level going into Iowa City, going to their area?
We talked about this the other day as a team, and I've never really been to Iowa in this regard. I'm in the Big Ten, so I've seen a little bit. But I would say that now on a different side of seeing Kaylin be supported and be loved and be poured into, I think that opportunity would be really, really great for me. These people love who she is and what she's brought to their state. So me getting to see it up close as a teammate, I'm kind of excited because I've never seen Iowa City and how they get down. So we're going to see.
It gets crazy out there.
Okay.
Hey, Kelsey, you mentioned you knew Steph had coached her before and played her. Did you know that she was on the original Fever team 25 years ago?
I found out 2 or 3 days ago because she was talking to Catch about it, but I did not know that, which makes it so much more important for us not to mess this up.
Can you guess how many points she averaged a game on that first team? 3 guesses.
I'm gonna say 11.5. Like 8 points a game. Ooh, that's my last one.
You're close.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna be in the middle. I'm gonna be 5.5, 6.
7.2.
Dang, 2 more.
Kelsey, is it fair to say maybe you have a different joy about you this season? You seem like a lot more yourself, if that makes sense. Do you feel that way?
I don't know, man. I've been through a lot, and my last year has been very life altering. I think mental health is real. I think taking time to really bask in where you are individually. I think pain and grief is real, and so when I look back at how far I've come, really going through a training camp last year with pain and death, I now, like, on the other end of it, it's so much more to be grateful about. And, like, in the absence of my father, I feel like I owe to myself to kind of be who I am, and that's what I'm going to be. So I'm excited.
As a team, what is a successful season for you guys as a team?
Success, I think for one, is not letting this deteriorate what we are. I think that this is a process, and I think success for us is really taking each game like we're supposed to. And I think if you trust in this group, let it be winning. And if winning is going to be our goal and be our impact, then that's the standard for us. And I think for us, the goal is to win as much as we possibly can.
Thank you, Kels.
Thank you, guys.
Natasha Howard. Howard. You have to lean in for a question. Just come back to center and answer. Okay? All right, go when you're ready.
How would you describe just the culture around this team compared to the last Fever team you were a part of?
The culture with this team is completely different. Like, you know, there's a lot of energy, a lot of determination, passion on this team. I would say it's kind of the same, but the team I was on, we have older players, a lot of players that had a lot of experience, but this team right here have experience too. They actually want to learn more, and they are hungry. We're hungry this season to do a lot of things that a lot of people expect and won't be able to do this year.
What have these first few days of training camp been like? Were they what you expected, kind of reuniting with Steph, or how have they been like?
I would say it's different. Like, you know, with Steph, like she's different this year compared to when I played in 2015 with her. She's completely different. Like, her coaching style is like the same, but it's completely different. Like, I can tell that she evolved a lot when it comes to coaching, and also the things that she's been throwing at us, even the younger players as well. But overall, everything's been really good for the past 3 days. We had training camp, so it's been really good. We've been going at it, so it's been amazing.
How about all the newness? Like, it seems probably every day where something's new and or chemistry is developing further in the locker room.
Absolutely. Our chemistry is growing each day. Starting Saturday when we actually had our team meeting and stuff like that. Everything's been like clicking, and things been going so well for the people that have been in the league for a long time, and also people that have been playing for 2 and rookies as well. Like, everything's been thrown at every single person so far. We've been catching it and grabbing it, and also running with it as things have been progressing so far.
You're an individual goal setter.
I am.
What do you want to accomplish this year?
One thing for me, I actually want to win MVP. I was supposed to win it in 2019 though, but that's years now. But getting MVP and also Defensive Player of the Year, but at the end is on that trophy.
Josh, do you remember, like, did you talk with players like in free agency when you're making this decision? Did you talk to some of the players that were here? Did that help you make your decision, just getting to know them a little bit, or was it more just you were on your own kind of process and journey?
I'm kind of on my own. Like, me and my family, we talked about that, prayed about it, and God actually put it on my heart to tell me, like, go back to where you started. And I'm happy to be back here, and it just feels good to, like, it's like a whole 360 all over again, and actually be back to here wearing a Fever jersey again, and also getting coached by Steph again. So it's just amazing for me that I'm blessed to be back.
This is a very, very deep team this year. What has it been like seeing this team come together as you guys have been able to practice and play?
It's been amazing. It's really been amazing. Like, every single person can learn, grow, get better as a player and as a teammate. You know, like I said, we are hungry. We're hungry. We're ready to win, and we're ready to do a lot of things that are going to shock the league.
You guys been explicit about wanting to win a championship, or has Steph been explicit about that, or does it not need to be said, or?
We talk about it. We talk about it. We don't really talk about it a lot, but we do talk about it. But our main thing right now is to get the team chemistry together, and also, you know, just win games day by day, learn, and just get better. Like, that's our big goal right there. But our main focus right now is just focus on what we can do, and also just winning games when the season starts.
There's a
DeWanna Bonner just about this team right now in the city and in the league. Is it hard to kind of tune that out sometimes and really focus on what's ahead of you?
Coach Steph always say, don't worry about what the outside saying, worry about what's inside right now and also in our locker room. That's one thing we focus on right now, is worry about what we can control inside of the building and don't worry about what's going on outside, because people are going to talk about us.
Questions about two of your teammates. What's something you've learned about Aliyah since getting to know her, and what's something you've learned about Caitlin?
Aliyah,
on or off the court?
Like off the court, she's outgoing, she's an outgoing person, very sweet. But on the court, she's determined to learn every single day. And with Caitlin, she's the same on and off the court, competitive, but like she's silly on the court and off the court. That's one thing I actually learned about her, that she's an outgoing person, but she also is silly. But like I love it, because we have different personalities on the team. I actually love what each player brings onto the court and off the court.
Have your experiences playing alongside Maya or Sue and Stewie or Sabrina, do you feel like that's prepared you for playing alongside someone like you?
Absolutely. But like those players actually help me a lot. You know, playing with them. It's just, to be honest, it actually feels good. It actually feels good to be playing with Caitlin, a true point guard that actually ready to learn even more, and you know, just being able to, you know, read off of her, see what she like and see what I like and things like that. So it's been really good to actually, you know, be next to her and actually learn, and she learning what I like, and also just communicating and just keep talking on the things that we need to fix and what we don't need to fix.
How do you compare her as a leader to like some of those all-time greats that you played with before?
I see it already in practice. Like she's talking to us in the huddles and stuff. Like I feel like it's natural to her, because she did it at Iowa for the 4 years when she was at Iowa. So like I feel like she's gonna be in that category with the Sue Bird, the Donnie Taurasi's and stuff like that. So she's gonna be a really good point guard in years to come.
I got one from the Zoom that's just come through. Tallahassee, Democrat. He's wondering your thoughts on the relationship you have with Michaela being both from FSU and her breaking your records. What was your initial reaction when they drafted her?
With KK, it's really good to be able to have a little mini me. I call her, like, she's going to be the next me when I retire. So I'm happy that she's a part of our team, our organization, and I'm happy that I can guide her and teach her some things, give her some of my moves, my tricks and stuff that I do in the game. Like, I'm really happy that she's a part of our organization. She's going to be the next great thing in the WNBA.
Awesome. Thanks, Tosh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just 2 minutes. Turn us in, yes. You can leave to just come back and answer. Got it. On the mic. 1 second. How's it going? All right, we're good.
Good, thanks. Caitlin, the inaugural Fever season was 25 years ago. Do you know who the original number 22 was?
Original Steph White?
Do you know in that season, can you guess how many points a game she averaged?
Putting me on the spot. I should have studied up.
Yeah, media guy.
Should probably pass the ball well, but 8?
7.2. Well done.
I didn't want to lowball her. I've been disrespectful.
Caitlin, did you ever get to that point maze after the season?
I did not, unfortunately. Too bad.
Talking about how good it was.
Yeah, this year I will go after this season. I promise you. Get you a review.
Caitlin, what's the excitement level going into the game at Carver this week?
I'm really excited. It should be fun. I can't believe it's already here. You know, I honestly haven't been back to Iowa City a ton since I left a year ago now. So only been back a couple times, once for a football game and once for the jersey retirement. So it'll be fun to get back there, see some of my former teammates, my friends that are there. A lot of my family will be coming, so I know they're excited. I warned everybody, I'm like, there's not air conditioning in Carver Hawkeye, so usually I don't play basketball games in May, so hopefully it stays a little cool in there. I don't know what the humidity is looking like, but we'll see how it goes. It might be a little toasty.
Iowa in May.
Yeah, people at graduation when it's in Carver get a little hot, so, but it's fine. It'll be fun.
Caitlin, Stephanie has talked about her 25 plus years been around women's basketball, how she feels like this roster is the best she's been around. How are you embracing this moment with such a big opportunity in front of yourself and young ladies?
Yeah, that's all you can do is embrace it, right? Like, how lucky are we to have such a good roster and so many people that wanted to be a part of something, bigger than themselves. They saw something in this team and this organization, and you have to give Kelly and Amber a lot of credit on, selling them on this, and also them for being selfless and wanting to come here and be a part of this. So I'm just really excited. I'm lucky to be here and to have been drafted here last year, and for this franchise to put so many great resources in front of us, whether it's, obviously building the new practice facility or, just how much they invest into us and all the resources that they provide us. So really just fortunate and excited for our roster. Obviously, you don't have a lot of time to put it together. We play a back-to-back this weekend and have really only had, at that point, 5 practices. So it'll be a lot of learning on the fly, but the best thing you can do is just go out there and play with your teammates. That's the best way to learn. So we're excited.
How much easier is it to do that knowing that there's so much championship talent on this roster, and then the younger core of you guys, are used to the expectations of this franchise?
Yeah, I think having that balance is going to be really good for us. There's so many different weapons on this team. There's a lot of really great leadership. There's people that have won championships. Then we have our young core, our young players, a lot of people that are really, really hungry to win. And I think that's kind of what we were lacking last year. We got to the playoffs, and not only have we not won championships, we barely had playoff experience. So that was a glaring thing that we had to fix. And like I said, Kelly and Amber did a really good job of that. And those vets that have won and been on really great teams wanting to come here, we're really thankful for that. And just through these first few days of practice, everybody's been really great, and it's been so much fun. And you can tell everybody's just been very selfless and excited to be here and excited to put things together to make us a really successful team.
Have you guys been explicit so far about wanting to win a championship this year?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does success then look like?
A championship. Mm-hmm.
Caitlin, as a basketball fan, what did you make of that Pacers finish last night?
It was crazy. I was down in the tunnel watching, so I had to go look at the ESPN win probability after that. It was like 97-9, which I'm like, how is it not 99-9? But one of the best finishes I've ever been a part of, and Pacers are so fun to watch, and it's been incredible to see obviously the state rally around them and how they support them, and also obviously how they support us, and obviously how the two teams honestly support each other, whether it's them coming to our games, whether it's us going to their games. Just both of us play a really fun style basketball, and they're a really great team with a lot of different weapons. Their bench is really good. I think Rick does a tremendous job. So it's been fun for me to be here in the offseason and kind of see how they've evolved from the beginning of the season until now. And we're rooting for them to go the whole way. That'd be fun to have a lot of Pacer games at the same time as the Fever games. So good win for them last time.
Some of the other teammates referenced you guys having that bonding time at the game, and how do those little moments with so many new faces, how will that kind of lead to success earlier in the season this year?
Yeah, it's all about building relationships with your teammates, and that can be hard at this level when there's little time and, you're always adding new pieces. Sometimes there's cuts, sometimes there's trades. You're signing new people, so you have to be really intentional about that. And I think, being able to do that in a setting like that where everybody loves basketball, everybody loves going to support the Pacers, but you still get to know your teammates and spend good quality time with them. So just have to be intentional about it, and like I've said, relationships is going to be the most important part of this, so you can have trust within your team.
Caitlin, how would you compare where you were at this time last year, first week of training camp, versus where you're at this year, physically, emotionally, mentally, all that?
I think there was just a lot coming at me last year at this time. I'm trying to move to a new city. I'm living in a hotel. I'm trying to figure out my teammates, trying to figure out new coaches and how this league works and how this league operates. And we played I played the last game of the college season. I played the first preseason game of the WNBA season. Then I played 11 games in 20 days. So it was a lot to take in. It came at me fast. But I'm also really grateful for that experience too. I think it taught me a lot about basketball. It taught me a lot about myself and how to be resilient and to come in and to work and to always get better. But I feel like I'm at a much better spot of understanding how the league works, what to expect, what the coaches and your teammates are going to expect of you, and obviously I've had a lot of time to rest and get better at things I want to get better at. So, all that being said, we got three preseason games to practice and really get ready for our opener on May 17th too.
I know it's been just a short time with you and Stephanie as your head coach. What do you appreciate the most about what you're learning from her right now here with the team?
Yeah, I think the thing that I've always admired about Steph, and I've known her for quite some time now, obviously not on the level that I do now, but she just has a really, really good basketball mind. And if you listen to her call NBA games or college games, her knowledge of the game is far better than most people. Like, she understands how the game is supposed to be played, situation basketball. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to put people in positions to be successful, 1 through 5 on the floor. She's going to put us in lineups that are successful. But also, like, she's going to hold you accountable. She's going to coach you, and that's something I'm really grateful for. But also, like, she's just been a good sounding board for myself to, like, talk about certain things, whether we're watching NBA games or, you know, just talking about college basketball. Like, it's fun to have that type of basketball mind around where you can really, like, just talk about certain things. And you can tell how selfless she is too. Like, this isn't about her, even though she's given a lot to this franchise. She's from this state. She won a national championship at Purdue. Like, coming here is far bigger than herself, but you know, that's always what you kind of want from your leader, somebody that's going to be selfless. But at the same time, like, we want to win for her too. Like, she deserves it. So I'm going to try to get her another ring. She's already got one, so why not make it two?
You were at some of the press conferences in the offseason where the signings were introduced. Going from there to watching this team come together on the practice court, what has it been like for you to watch this team really come together and start to play together?
Well, it's only been 3 days, so it's a lot of learning for sure. But also, I just think everybody's, like I've said this, I guess multiple times now, but really this their selflessness. And I think DB is the one that kind of stands out for me. Like, she's won championships, but she's here to provide knowledge to our young players to help us really get over that hump and be able to win. And the same goes for Sid and Tosh. But, you know, all of them are just here to kind of be that voice for us and somebody to lean on. And I really admire that because, you know, people don't always want to do that. So I think it's for us young players or for us people that have never won championships before is like leaning on them, relying on them, asking them questions. You know, we can count on them, but at the same time, like I said this earlier in my media availability a couple days ago, it's like I want to win for them. Like, seeing how selfless they are and, you know, them choosing to come here and choosing to be a part of the Fever, you know, they didn't have to do that. So I certainly want to win for them, and they deserve it. And, you know, they've been great, and they will continue to be great too.
Is there any difference between how you approach relationship building from at this point from when you started at Iowa, if not just how you kind of describe your leadership style?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. I think, you know, building relationships is all the same. Like, you need to have those relationships in life too, whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your family, whether it's all of you with your job. Like, how are you going to work with your coworkers and things like that? Like, you have to have relationships, and same for us playing basketball. Is like, you know, when things get heated in the moment, like, you need to know that they're going to have your back, that, you know, they have your best interests at heart, and same goes for you too. So I think that's all starts with relationships. So I think it's very similar to college. Like, you have to be intentional about, you know, they don't need to be your best friend, but like, you still need to have a really good relationship with them, and a lot of times they do end up being your best friend. So I think just being intentional, and, you know, obviously we're all busy, but spending time with each other, even if that's like at the Pacers game or 20 minutes shooting after practice, those little things can go a long way. Thanks, everybody.
And not only was 2000 the first year of the Fever, it was the only year the Pacers went to the NBA Finals.
Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome, welcome.
Ever as early as it is,
Yeah, I mean, we're 3 practices in, so been really, really pleased with the intensity, the energy, the effort, the communication. I think all the things that you want to see early in camp. You know, I think Steph's done a tremendous job, her staff's done a tremendous job having us organized when we come in to make the most of our practices. And then you're really seeing some of that veteran leadership come through, you know, the voices of DeWanna and Natasha and Sid, and some of these folks that we brought in who have won championships in the past, really stepping up and talking to the group, pulling people aside, having conversations. So you love to see that, the energy, the enthusiasm, a lot of progress, a lot of work on the defensive end the first 3 days, which has been fun to see. But yeah, really pleased with what we've seen thus far.
Amber, so many of the players have come through talked about, hey, we're all in this for the right reasons, and we're all selfless, and all those certain things. how much does that set this team up for that success, given everyone's kind of at a different spot in their careers?
Yeah, well, it was a focus going in. I mean, especially talking to Caitlin and Kelsey and Aliyah about the way they ended the season last year, how they really came together as a group to finish the season strong, and that culture was really a common theme from the three of them. So as we set out on free agency, having these conversations with people, you know, yeah, we want great players, but we want people who are coming in here to win first and have that mentality and bring that culture. And I think, you know, that's where the advantage of having Kelly and I who've been in the league for, you know, 15, 20 years and know a lot of these players, you know, very focused on specific people when you talk about Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner and Sid Colson, what they bring, not only skill-wise, but the culture aspect that they bring in the leadership. So definitely a focus for us, and we are seeing that come together. It's been tremendous to, again, see the energy and the effort and the teamwork among the group. And, you know, they all have a common goal, which is, you know, to win.
Is part of that culture is it important to embrace expectation and embrace maybe people expecting it to go to another level this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, we're in this to win championships. It doesn't happen overnight. We've got a lot of work to do. It looks great on paper. Again, we're 3 days in. But that's always the expectation. We want that to be the standard. That is the standard that has been set here in Indiana with Tamika Catchings and, you know, championships in the past. We want to get back to that. That's the goal. So we're certainly focused on that. And I think, again, when you bring in these players who have championship experience and have been there, some that are on the back half of their career, they're very motivated. And they bring a different level of intensity to a practice, to a workout, to everything we're doing, in showing our younger players how to do things the right way and what it takes to get to that level. So certainly we have aspirations to do that. This league is insanely good. Every night is difficult. So we know, you got to have a lot of luck. You got to have good health. You got to have that chemistry really come together. But that's always our goal, is to hang a banner.
How do you merge championship expectations with a team that doesn't have a lot of internal playoff experience at this point, even though you just added players, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what our hope was in adding these players, right? Is you bring people with this experience that can speak to it, but also model behavior that the younger players can follow, again, and everything that they're doing from the weight room to their nutrition to how they approach practice every single day. Every little detail matters, and that has been a common theme, is, you know, pay attention to every single detail. The devil's in the details, right, to get there. And again, we don't know if that will be the end result, but, you know, we want to do things the right way in our effort to get there.
What have you noticed so far about Caitlin and Steph's relationship? As you know, Kayla's up here just kind of glowing about her, talking about like how they can just pick the game apart. And do you see even similarities between how they see the game, kind of as basketball minds?
Yeah, I mean, they're both, you know, just, I think, incredibly smart, high IQ basketball minds. And so when you get two people like that together, you know, they just seem to go to the next level. So you can see it in conversations that they're having, you know, in practice, how they communicate. Steph is such a tremendous communicator. Her whole staff is, really. I mean, it's unbelievable to watch their staff work. They are a well-oiled machine, and Steph really leads that charge, empowering her staff. But the players have a voice as well. And you see, you know, Caitlin being able to voice what she sees. And again, it's a great partnership. It's been fun to see that evolve thus far. It's going to be fun to see it when we take the court, and how it translates on game night. But yeah, they're two really high IQ basketball people, and you kind of sometimes have to let them speak their own language with each other to take things to the next level. But it's been fun to watch.
What has stood out to you about, after watching Caitlin's first few days of practices and the way in which she worked all throughout the off season, now that you're in it every day with her?
Yeah, really impressed. I mean, I started in early November, and there was rarely a day that I walked in here that the basketball wasn't bouncing in the off season, and Caitlin was in here working. So I've just been so impressed with her work ethic. I mean, she loves the game. She's a competitor, wants to win, wants to work at her craft, will do everything it takes on behalf of herself, but also this franchise and this team. She's very invested in what we're doing, ask a lot of questions. I have so enjoyed getting to know her as a person, and just having those conversations about what she wants us to be, right? Like, the same with Kelsey, the same with Aliyah, who have been here a few years, and where we can take this the next level. But yeah, it's been fun getting to know Caitlin. She works incredibly hard, balances a lot, right? But basketball has always been the main thing, and I saw that firsthand through this offseason.
I saw that the team made a promotional film in Madam Theater in Indiana. What's the significance of that as a team aligning with a historic site like that in town?
Yeah, really cool to be able to shoot that promo shot in that historic venue and align with Madam C.J. Walker. That was very intentional. Obviously, an incredible figure in the city of Indianapolis and just in general, right, in our history. So to be able to launch our campaign in that venue, I appreciate you noticing that. It was really cool to be able to storytell, and we'll continue to storytell around it.
You guys were really open in the offseason that re-signing Kelsey was one of the biggest focuses of the team. What has it been like to see her get out there and build relationships and gel with the teammates that you guys have brought in this season?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It was the number one focus for us in the offseason to make sure Kelsey Mitchell was back here. Such a key piece to this franchise for many, many years, through a lot of rough years, right? So I love that she's here and getting to experience, this moment and this opportunity. I don't know how it happens, but every single year Kelsey Mitchell gets faster. It's an unbelievable phenomenon. So she's come in here and set the tone for us every single day. I think when you talk about the vets that we brought in, it was a consistent theme that they were all really excited to play with Kelsey Mitchell. She is so well respected around this league, and I just love that she's getting the shine that she really deserves. And when we look at, the foundations of this franchise, you have Tamika Catchings, and Kelsey Mitchell is the next piece of the foundation of this franchise in this last era. So really excited for her, excited that we were able to do what we were able to do in free agency, and again, let her cook every single night.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
I gotta get you guys a little stuff. Well, we're a little behind. You guys are ahead. Sorry, Steph. Close out, Julie. Just stay on the X, and if you have to lean, just come back.
Steph, 25 years ago, the original Fever team, do you know who the original number 22 was on the roster?
I might know who that was, yeah.
Do you know how many points number 22 averaged a game in that original season?
Not a lot, but I don't know. No.
7.2.
Okay.
But as Caitlin said, you probably were a good ball distributor.
Yeah, I sat on the bench a lot. Played a lot of different roles.
Still a fan favorite, though. What, just in general, what was the excitement? You look at where the excitement for women's basketball is in this franchise based on that inaugural year when we don't know what it's going to be like and how long it's going to go.
What took everybody so long is the first thing that comes to mind. I think just being a part of this league, really. I mean, I came into this league in 1999, and being a part of this league for so long, and thinking back to our first CBA and just wanting insurance all year long, to where this league is now. It's just, it's what we always thought it would be, should be, could be, and I'm thankful that I'm just still a part of it.
Coach, Amber has been very open to re-signing Kelsey Mitchell was one of the biggest focuses and one of the key points of the offseason. What has it been like to get on the court and start being able to coach a player like Kelsey?
It's been so much fun. I mean, yeah, she's right. That was priority number one. Right, and certainly thinking about, I've been watching Kelsey Mitchell since she was a freshman in college, covered her games a lot with Big Ten Network, and have always not just admired her game and the way that she plays, but the way that she works. She was always the first one in the gym. I remember watching her a ton, working out with her dad, and just the things that she was working on showed what type of worker she was. And for us as a staff to be able to utilize her natural God-given talent, her ability to just score the basketball and trying to put her in positions to do that in a lot easier way, I think is fun for us. And being on the floor with her, it's just, she's faster than she even seems when you're on the sideline, when you're seeing her every single day. She wants to be great. She's playing, with probably the most talented team she's ever been a part of, and so I'm just really thankful that she's still in a Fever jersey.
What has been the impact for you of being back in Indiana? How have you enjoyed and related Just for instance, the other day I had lunch with a guy who covers some of the baseball.
Wasn't you?
No, he's not here. He's not even in school.
Oh, okay.
He works for IU these days, but he told me
went to that side.
He said, I remember some of the high school.
It's been great. Yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's and I say it, and it sounds cliche, but it's really true. I mean, it's coming home. I grew up with a lot of these people that are in this building. I watched people grow up that are in this building, right? I mean, it's such a family feel with this organization, with basketball in the state of Indiana. It is coming home, and there's a certain peace that comes with that. Just as there's a certain comfort level that comes with that. But at the end of the day, we also know that we have a job to do, right? And so it's great to be back and to be familiar and to be a part of this franchise that's such a fabric of my DNA. But now that's over. We've started, and now it's time to play basketball.
Steph, a lot's rightfully been made of the championship additions to this team, the winners and the people who have been there. How have you started to see them kind of mesh on the floor with the young core and with one another?
Yeah, they've done a great job. I mean, first and foremost, you hear it vocally. Just in setting the expectations and in talking about some of the little nuance, whether it's spacing or whether it's timing, whether it's intensity level in a drill, you hear them vocally. And then secondly, you see them leading by example. I think the challenge sometimes for veterans when you come in is to grow the young ones in terms of their leadership. So being willing to help navigate, but also being willing to listen. And this group has been outstanding in that. And they just raise the intensity level. I mean, we have a core group that's pretty intense in general. But when you have players like DB and Tosh and Sid and Sophie that come in and just demand excellence daily, it just takes it to another level.
This is the highest expectations that you've ever had in a long time. You've obviously coached a great team before. What does it take throughout a season to stay on top of that when things get hard and just keep everybody focused and not distracted?
Yeah, I mean, first things first, we got to talk about it, right? We have to make sure that, you can't rely on talent. We've seen it throughout the course of professional sports. Like, talent enough isn't good enough, right? We have to rely on our daily disciplines. Our motivation is fleeting. Our feelings are fleeting, but we have to be disciplined in how we attack every single day. Our job as coaches is to maintain that level, not just the level that we expect, but the level that we accept on a daily basis. And so making sure we talk about it. It also takes a little bit of luck, right? Like when we're trying to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, a lot of things have to align. We got to put it together quickly. That's our job, to put it together quickly. We have to stay healthy. We want to be peaking at the right time. I know everybody expects us to compete for a championship in May. Well, that's not realistic. Like, we've got to make sure that we're taking our daily steps and we're getting better and we're stacking days and we put the best team and the best combinations on the floor that we can.
You mentioned staying level. How have you learned as a coach over the years to be better at that when things are harder challenging?
Age. I mean, certainly I think life experience. You can ask probably anybody that's over 40, close to 50, over 50, like, life happens, right? Like, yes, we want to win, and yes, we're going to position ourselves to win, and yes, that's our ultimate goal. But life experience teaches us to not be too high, not be too low, that we have to approach each day and value each day with a certain discipline, a certain expectation, a certain understanding, and we have to go out and we have to live it.
Steph, tagging on that, I know some coaches maybe shy away from talking about, hey, best roster I've been around 25 years, etc. Why was it so important for you to be so transparent about that, especially with your team?
AC, you got me in trouble with that 2012 team. So, I think the most important thing is honesty and transparency and communication. I think that's always just how I've operated. It's how I wanted to be coached. It's how I want to coach. And look, like most good teams have that 8 probably player rotation. Like, we have 8 players who could start in this league. We've got a 9-10 player rotation that we can use on any given day right now. And so I think the quality of depth, and look, let's be honest, the league and the talent across the league is better than it's ever been. These young players that are coming in who have only known the WNBA, as opposed to some periods of time throughout the course of the WNBA where you're getting players who had regular jobs and then came back to play in the WNBA. And so the talent level across the board is as deep as it's ever been. Pressure is a privilege.
It is. Like, we all know, everybody who's been a part of a team, everybody who's won championships, everybody who's been a part of growing something special knows that a lot of things have to fall in line for you to win a championship. They do. That's why it's so incredibly difficult. But we're not shying away from the fact that we want to win a championship, that we want to position ourselves every single day to win a championship.
How did you land on unity as your opening message?
What's that?
How did you land on unity as your opening message?
Well, because we have the deepest team probably that I've ever been a part of, it takes everybody, and it takes sacrifice. There are players who probably should be in rotation that might not be at times. There are players who probably should be playing more minutes that won't be at times. There are players who have open shots that pass up the shot to get the best shot on the floor. Everybody's going to have to sacrifice at some point for us to be as good as we can be. And so if you talk to people who have won championships, they talk about being stars in your role. They talk about playing outside of position. They talk about not being in rotation, right? And we have players on our team that have won championships that have done just that. They haven't been the superstars. They haven't been the one that's been asked to score all the points, right, or to make all the assists. They've been asked to be role players and stars in their role, sometimes not playing to having to be thrown out into the fire and staying ready. And that's what it's going to take. So we have to be unified. We have to be together in everything that we do. We have to sacrifice for the Indiana Fever.
We didn't ask you the first day. Any injuries of concern here on the first
No,
day
thank God, Scotty.
Yep.
Thank you, Steph.
All good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're just going to swap Sophie and Lexi, so Lexi's going to go down.